What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into one of the most requested reviews analysis, so stick around, you don't want to miss this. But before we get into that, if you're considering a purchase, don't miss out on this incredible discount available right now. Check the description below and the pinned first comment. Now let's not delay any further and jump right into the details.
Now, let's hear directly from our first reviewer about their experience.
This reviewer found that getting this travel router up and running wasn't the most intuitive process. While not a complete novice with technology, our reviewer notes that they aren't immersed in networking daily, so tasks like this require a bit of thought. The initial struggle involved distinguishing between the device's own credentials and the credentials for the internet it was connecting to. Figuring out the correct operating mode also took some trial and error, leading to about a 30-minute setup on the first attempt in a hotel. Once configured, however, this little gadget became an indispensable travel companion. The primary use case is in hotels or rentals that might limit the number of connected devices. By connecting just this one router to the establishment's Wi-Fi, this client can then share that single connection across all their personal and work devices, laptops, phones, and tablets. The real game changer, however, was their decision to name the network broadcast by this device the exact same as their home Wi-Fi network. This simple trick means that every time they arrive somewhere new, all their family's gadgets connect automatically without anyone needing to enter a password. Our reviewer shared anecdotes of their family being amazed at how their devices were just connected at vacation spots, as if by magic. Even smart speakers for music and news work seamlessly on the road without any extra setup. Ultimately, while there was a slight learning curve, the convenience is well worth it. The few minutes it now takes to connect this one portable device saves a tremendous amount of hassle, effectively bringing a powerful piece of home convenience on the road.
Great! Now let's see what our next reviewer has to say about their experience.
This reviewer initially had a terrible experience with this mini travel router, but after some experimentation, they've completely changed their tune. USB tethering works flawlessly, providing stable internet, which is the main goal even if the speed is capped by the provider. A crucial point to remember is that when using this device, your phone acts as the internet source but isn't actually on the network it creates. This can cause problems with media casting, as devices won't see each other. Wireless tethering via phone hotspot also works well for general internet access for connected devices. However, this client found that device-to-device communication on the network becomes incredibly slow, likely because all traffic is being routed back through the router to the phone and back again. It becomes unusable for activities like sharing media locally. To bypass this limitation, our reviewer discovered a workaround, using the repeater mode to connect to the phone's hotspot or USB tether, then using the Ethernet port to connect to a full-size router. This allows devices to connect to the larger router and communicate at full speed internally, while external internet traffic is still handled by this small device. This client says that this solution makes the product suitable for hotel or cruise use, but warns to beware of the device-to-device limitations. The device-to-device issue doesn't arise when using router mode or USB tethering, as the device handles communication between devices directly and only internet traffic passes through the phone. Overall, the reviewer loves the device and uses it to keep all devices online when at home. They simply turn on their mobile hotspot, and the mini travel router automatically connects and shares the internet connection. The initial negative review stemmed from the media server speed issue in repeater mode, which is resolved by using USB tethering. One final word of warning is that why.
Excellent. Let's find out what our next reviewer has to share about their experience.
This reviewer was looking for a solution to extend the reach of their Verizon hotspot's weak Wi-Fi signal to cover their entire house. They were using an external antenna to receive broadband on a rural property, but the hotspot's built-in Wi-Fi wasn't cutting it. Initially, our reviewer tried bridging the hotspot to a more powerful Netgear Nighthawk router using a laptop as an intermediary, connecting via USB-C and using the laptop's LAN port. While this worked, it meant their laptop was tied up 24/7 and the throughput speed wasn't ideal. So they purchased this mini router to replace the laptop in the setup. Setting it up was surprisingly straightforward. The client configured it as a USB modem on the setup page, disabled its Wi-Fi to avoid interference with the Nighthawk router, and switched it to bridge mode. After rebooting all 3 devices, the hotspot, the mini router, and the Nighthawk router, everything worked perfectly. This freed up the laptop and replaced it with this tiny, dedicated device. But the best part, the speed of their rural internet connection tripled. Previously, they were getting a consistent 6-7 Mbps, which was barely enough for one streaming device. Now with this router in place, they consistently get 22 Mbps. This allows for multiple devices to be used simultaneously without buffering or dropouts. The reviewer found that devices with Wi-Fi connections to the router may need to be rebooted, so they are reassigned new IP addresses. Despite being thrilled with the performance boost, our reviewer does have some reservations about the origin of the hardware firmware. The potential for spying or security vulnerabilities is a concern, so they plan to monitor traffic and keep an eye on the situation.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. See you next time.